We are gathered here to celebrate the death of Jimmy Donaldson, who you might know as MrBeast. After the release of a video by his former employee DogPack 404, Jimmy was undeniably frightened, worried that the worst might happen. He sent his employee and useless sucker Chunky to cover him, but Chunky failed, and DogPack 404 hit the final blow on Jimmy earlier today. Jimmy was one of those guys where he seemed like he offered a lot to this world, while in reality, he did it all to cover his bad image. But thankfully, it's over now, and his next video will be, I was living on Earth for 26 years. So as we sit above his grave, we might as well tell him the one thing he should have known about DogPack 404. Jimmy, don't tell no lies about him, and he won't tell truths about you. I have my mic off for some reason, but I do believe I am fashionably late. But it's okay, because we are here for a momentous occasion. It's time to watch part 2. We are here. It's about to go down. Let me check if the audio is okay. Let me turn this down a little bit. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Alright, here we go. I'm so ready for this. It's time to rock.
I'm hungry. I'll write jokes for food. I wish a philanthropist YouTuber would just give me 10K and not film it.
Oh, they starting off with a skit?
MrBeast, that's what happened to me.
What we do here is go back.
I was gonna be somebody. I was gonna be the Carl took my job.
What the hell is happening right now? Bruh. Jake Weddle acting erratic on shrooms busted.
Cop from Timu back at it again. So just before I get into my interrogation with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle, a lot has happened since my last video. After posting like 100 messages from former MrBeast employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support or telling their stories of you know, fake videos or unsafe.
I can't wait for this.
Toxic.
The quality's definitely improved since last
I'm
time.
not really going to get into those claims because, for one, like, most people want to stay anonymous, which I understand. And also, like, I think most of that stuff's just been covered with you know, the news coming out about Beast Games and everything. And also, I have, like, more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible source that MrBeast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2, you know, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar vs. Drake. Also, I know MrBeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, you know, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes.
Allegedly.
And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former MrBeast employees of very serious allegations. So
I cannot wait to hear them.
Call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs. And like, as much as I meme and joke around, like
I need to check
I
if the
take
audio is
anonymity
okay.
very seriously. So without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything. And obviously, if it goes to court, I would hope they would censor your information from the court documents. I don't know. Oh, and former contestants too. That's another thing I heard after posting my last video is during the 100 boys versus girls video, I have people corroborating the same story that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was making some girls feel uncomfortable.
Really?
You trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Try to what?
That seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think
Misunderstanding.
Because if the girl said no, then the answer.
If that's
obviously
true,
is
that
no.
is
But the thing
crazy.
is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Anyway, so
Bruh.
that will be part 3. So, you know, MrBeast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a MrBeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format who was working at MrBeast while actually on the registry. And I'll get more into that story.
Was somebody downloading
video.
PDF
So I got his
files
DM,
whose name is
drove
not
straight to
Chris
New York
Tyson?
Overnight, did not sleep, just drank a bunch of caffeine, and I also only had one microphone in the interview, which he's wearing. So it's mostly just him talking. Also, like, final thing, people said my last video started slow. This video also starts slow. It you know, builds up over time, but I'll do the retention thing and say, the ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in
Kept to the
cutting room floor
shadows.
a lot of the time. But I've been in some videos. I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now. It went from
Can't wait to hear all
YouTuber
about it, bro.
guy with the camera to Amazon. The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses.
Dion Michael, what's up?
We usually moved up, had more screen time.
Obviously, it's not the death of MrBeast, but
heads with Jimmy or
like,
just, he didn't like it.
MrBeast is not actually dead, but he is like close to being cancelled.
Jimmy doesn't like me. That's
I titled it The Death of MrBeast because he got destroyed in the first video, and he's gonna get destroyed in this video, so stay tuned, bro. We're gonna have a fun time.
A way out necessarily, like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes men were, you know, doing well, and I was, you know, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right, like publicly, and I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used
Respect for that.
to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come you didn't talk about the work you do? Well, I wanted to code. I didn't want to, you know, speak ill of YouTube's golden boy, and then I'm blacklisted forever.
Not the YouTube's golden boy.
Kill your career. It's like I have to, or I'll be sad. This is the moment we're going to talk about it. So, as far as that, that's my covering of the why we didn't talk about XYZ sooner. But now you know.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Finally, he's wearing the hat and the uniform again.
This is the extent of
Police
the
uniform.
fakeness that I was involved to. This is admitting to my complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video, crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or a meteor in the title of it. I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, pushes their car, and they're supposed to think the rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, huh? My car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're gonna call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly, she goes, what? I'm on vacation. Mom, my car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
Yeah, I did that video, and they're supposed to give me $10K to put a down payment.
Give that
on
girl an
a,
Oscar
new
for
car,
real.
And they wanted me to get like a big flashy new car. $10K was supposed to be a
See
down
that?
payment. And I can't afford a big flashy new car because I work at MrBeast. So
Nice.
I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the taxes on. I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the insurance on. So I do my part of the video, and I get a mom van that I could afford. And Jimmy was like, why didn't you get a cooler car? I was like, I can't afford that, bro. Come on, what are you talking about? You know, if I was working on a TV show in the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now,
Well,
I
yeah.
make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money. And I just walked into the
Yeah.
writer's room, and that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional
You
to
asked
the work
for
I
a
was
raise.
doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And then, you know, I talked about that, and I talked about the Writers Guild and how this is what Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube, and I didn't even bring up residuals, because oh my God, if I got residuals for every video I worked on, boy howdy, I could retire. But yeah, the other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older comic, black guy. He had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child. We're doing the exact same job, and
That's
why am I
crazy.
some 20-year-old fuckhead white guy? Why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up, and one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the B stuff shook out was
Uh-oh.
I feel really guilty about the way this like shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, like it's fucked up, you know, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, you know, because you deserve to get paid more. You know, I don't have a kid.
This is hard, man.
And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, you know, because when you grow up with, you know, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, you know. You get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat.
Sorry, bro.
But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, you know, like if that's like, I trust you. He stood with me. He went to that you went to that meeting with me. And I said my piece, and he backed me up. And I said, I need X, Y, Z, or I'm out of here. And they said, bet, and they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was gonna lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it.
You both lost your jobs? That's crazy.
Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're gonna give me a check and I get to leave? You know, I don't get to deal with the you know, how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day, you know? And I get to go home and you're gonna pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want. I said he just wanted to be in the room, you know? And I really regret that. But you know, me and him were really still tight. We're still good friends. Is he doing good? Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy. He's doing good. Yeah.
So maybe you just feel better?
Honestly, best thing I could have done for him. Now that he's very, very far removed from all this crazy shit, I guess.
Do you think Jimmy really enjoys doing good and helping people?
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal.
Well, obviously
and I think
everyone does.
whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers. If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy? But I've always thought, if you're gonna do something nice for somebody, and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, that you didn't do a nice thing for somebody. You gained something. There was a homeless guy
Mainly
on the
for
street,
views.
and you saw an opportunity
It's common practice now, unfortunately.
for yourself and your image, and you gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous on camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, you know, oh, hey, you're crying. That's so good for camera. You know, I'm so glad he's... If you're crying because you're so thankful that you got XYZ, and then you go, oh, I'm so glad he needed it that bad so I could come in and, oh, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could... Oh, it made me uncomfortable that I was working there, and I didn't like it, and I vocalized it sometimes, and I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point that I was going to be like fourth banana, you know, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, you know, and then that never happened. I remember talking about that, like, hey, I thought my contract said XYZ, and then I got the severance checks, so, you know, whatever, how that regard.
So after your severance checks, how was your relationship with the company? I know you appeared in videos after that, right?
Right, so in videos where I was appearing in later, that's why you keep nice publicly. If you're nice in public, hey, Jake was nice in public, let's have him back for something, you know, yeah, sure. So I was hoping they call back, you know, and I appeared in some videos after I left. I think one of them was 3 days in a maximum security prison. If I did do mini challenges in that, I got paid. I was, you know, clocked in with a rate, and I would get paid and compensated for those. But there was one video I was in, I got paid a lot for it, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because it didn't go well. There was a video that came out probably like a year ago, something like that. It got a lot of hot water when it came out. It was the surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary or surviving in solitary for whatever. It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And people don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me. And it didn't go well.
Didn't go well, huh? What happened?
I was already planning on moving to New York, and I had worked at a couple of YouTube companies after Beast, and I had a little bit of change in my pocket. You know, the most change I had in my pocket ever. You know, small potatoes, you know, compared to Beast bullshit. But you know, I thought I had enough to move to New York or whatever. And I get a call from somebody over there, and they go, "Hey, they want you for a video." I was like, "Oh, amazing, great, cool, thank God." What's the video? And they tell me the pitch. And they try to make the pitch sound like it's going to be like a walk in the park. The pitch is 100 days in solitary confinement, but don't worry, like you only have to last like 30. We have like a video. They're pitching it like at first it's going to be like a luxury vacation. You're going to have like a hot tub and an ice cream machine, and like part of the video is going to be you deciding like what items am I going to get rid of, you know, today, and that's like the choice. They were like, it's only going to be bad for me to last like 5 days tops when you have like nothing left. You're the first, it's going to be like a breeze for most of it. And by the end of it, after 30 days, you're going to get $300,000 because it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, excuse me? I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face, sure. They were like, you're going to be locked in this room, and we got to make sure you're on all the time. We're going to have cameras on you all the time, and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up. On paper, I was like, okay, I can do this. And they always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, you know, editors have told me that it's because you have too much of a personality. And so with this video, I thought,
that's tough.
It's a video they can't cut me out of. I'm the guy. And so I thought, well, if I have to do this, if I have to do solitary confinement in order to do the things I want to do, then I will do that. I held my tongue and I swallowed my pride and I tried to do one last ride. And I get there, and at first it's fine. And I mean, they had just freshly painted the set. You could smell it, you know, which that's probably not good, you know, the smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time. It looked good on the visual. It looks good on camera. You know, it's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. I mean, it was in one of the studios. They had to like get like a separate like tank for, you know, septic stuff. Yeah, there was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Like things were cool and funny on paper, but when you think about stuff, a hot tub that's not connected to a filtration system, Give it 3 days, it's gonna stink. You know, if there's not like a hot water mechanism, so the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold, and you're taking like a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine, let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes, on, and off, reeking of smelly dairy, mildew, like, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little things started to build up. You know, there was like the bug thing wasn't like terrible, but it was a factor. And like at first it was fine, you know, and you're playing it up like, cause you know it's a video, and it got to a point where like they weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? You know, and they said no, because it would fuck up the time lapse shots. The time lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did like, oh, you're gonna get XYZ hours of sunlight. Oh, great! Well, I don't know how they figured that one out. I didn't have it. You know, one of the things was you got to take away your clock, so you didn't know what time it was. Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. I don't know, like, the lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now. But they might have started there. I had good people looking out for me. I had a lot of good people looking out for me, saying, "This we gotta stop." So I just wanted to turn the lights off, and I'm vocalizing to people, "I wish the lights would turn off." And I go up to my friend, my good friend, and I go, "They're not turning the lights off." He goes, "What? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists." Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
The Geneva Convention.
So, you know, they're giving me, you know, melatonin, you know, it's not helping, you know, and then Jimmy would come in like every other day for like an hour, you know, to check in on me because he's doing other stuff. You know, I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute. And so he'd come by, he'd get the shots, he'd leave. Sometimes he'd have a note with the director over the phone that would really piss me off. This is the note I got from the director, from Jimmy, when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that?
That's crazy.
To pretend to make it genuine?
That's insane.
I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage. But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You just be in this cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it. I needed it, of course. Just something about like having the cameras on me all the time. Like I was not having a good time, but we were filming a video, so I was trying my best to be funny. You know, I'm a dark comic. You know, I got bits about. I had a very traumatic life. I have my dad is in jail for sexual assault of a minor. You know, so this kind of stuff is very near to my heart. You know, I don't fuck around with this shit. Yeah, I have jokes about that in my act. You know, I joke about it because that's what you do in a traumatic experience. You know, I have abusive relationships. I get out of it. The first thing I do is I do a typewrite about it. You know, so I'm in this situation where my mental health is not good. My physical health is getting worse. But we're filming, so I'm doing bits. I'm talking to the camera. And I'm being, you know, like, hey, it's been a couple days, I'm not doing so hot, you know, which if I'm filming a video, that's what I should be doing for the camera, but it was too real. If they're faking videos, why couldn't we fake this one? You know, if we're allowed to let these cast members have some time off of this difficult challenge, how come we couldn't turn the lights off? How come we couldn't
he's
not have some time
got a
off
very good
for
point
10
there.
seconds?
Did you try to get out?
Yes. I started to calculate. I don't know if I could do 30. How much can I? Well, how can I manage to get out of here sooner? and still have a video and still have some cash and get the plug, man. I did.
If
Since we're
anybody's
doing
watching me
time-lapse
right
shots,
now,
and
let
since
me
they
know
insisted
how
on
good is like
time-lapse
the
shots,
balance. Is
I
the
said, "All right,
audio
we're gonna do
okay?
time-lapse shots
Can you
back."
hear me? Can you hear the
I
video?
put my YouTube on with the whiteboard they gave me. And I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead and scrub that footage. You know, you got that whiteboard. Oh no, either that goes in or this footage is unusable. And then, you know, James Warden came in and erased it. You know, don't put that. Don't. Hey, we can torture him. Don't you dare let him get a plug in there. You know.
That's crazy.
Like we were playing up the joke. You know, it's like I'm the boy in the cage. You know, whatever. Like I'll play into a joke. Whatever, it's fine. There's just something weird about when Jimmy jokes. I have jokes about my dad because I love jokes with my dad. I'll joke with my dad all the time. I guess piece of shit. I hate my dad. I have friends that make fun of my dad. That's fine because I know their intent. I know where they're coming from. When Jimmy joked with my dad, and I said that to seem weird. I don't like it. We were doing that one of those hide and seek videos again. You know, at the time they were a lot realer. So I got caught, and when you get caught, you know, you go to the place where you get caught. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know. You know, I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, "All right, you're going to jail. You know, like your dad."
Like your dad.
Like, it's a joke.
Like your dad.
But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy wasn't my friend. He was my boss, and that wasn't cool. And so now, I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" "You're clearly unwell." And he goes, "Well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting." Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing bits. Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this. And I'm thinking, like, who's watching this? Like, who wants to see this? What is fun about this, the video? And so the thing that made me want to, I gotta get out. I can't do another day in a year. Jimmy comes in, and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is, but I was like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, "Why is he sleeping?" I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, "Ask me why I have 2 briefcases." And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, "Oh, because this one's for today, you know, and this one's for the challenge." And I go, "What's the challenge today?" He goes, You're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is.
That's a
You're gonna
half
do it on that
marathon.
treadmill over there." The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic. I'm dumb. I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." I was like, "On camera, I don't want to do that." You go, "Just do it for the thing." Like, kid, you know? Like, there was an element of, oh, Jake will do what we want because he's in-house. You know, that's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's, he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So I people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Again, Ryder. Do I look like I run? I don't run, you know? Let alone a marathon, let alone have training for it. So I was in a sunlightless, you know.
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
Based on the Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the other stuff, like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, you know? You know? And
The amount of pressure they put on this man is insane.
That's the whole video. I guess the budget's, you know, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, "How long do I have?" He goes, "Until I get back." Yeah, I'm running until 3 a.m. I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill and then the people that
The
came
story
into
of
it,
this
I was
dude,
like, "Make sure I was
the
good."
story of Jake here is very, very
That's when I was
sad.
like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, you have a right to leave, my friend.
And that's
You
when
have a right to leave.
I get the psych in, and I talk to the psych about how I'm not well. And
Not well.
like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that was saying, you gotta pull him out. Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work, and they would tell me, they'd be like, yeah, everyone knows you over there, everybody loves you. They go, oh, Jake Weddle, love that guy. Shame what happened to him. Like I'm a ghost. And I asked him, I said, how much longer are you guys gonna keep me in here? And the guy goes, realistically, like at least 7 more days? No. And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off. And they brought, it's like they brought in all my friends, to make it.
They brought your friend. What about your friends? This is tough to watch, dude.
They brought in all the people I liked. And Jimmy. Then everybody was around me making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. But Jimmy had his he was sitting in the chair turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God. Everyone was looking at me and he was like Lex Luthor over there.
Lex Luthor.
He turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. You know when you're watching a video and he's like, oh, stop, you're gonna make me cry. And he touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just... I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Yeah, your mental health's the most important thing. Just want to make sure you're okay. And last thing we want you to do is... I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before it got out.
The word Sue, huh?
I did not get the 300K. What I got...
Of course you didn't.
He goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days.
But it's not what you
did
promised,
XYZ
Jimmy.
Challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, give or take.
It's not what
You
you
know how much
promised.
money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And now
That's
I spent all
crazy.
that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy festivals. My family back home, I gave them a bunch of stuff that they needed. And haven't been back on a Beast set in any official capacity or unofficial capacity since then. And then they did the video with somebody else, and they worked out the kinks. And then I'd still gotten some hot water, and I knew it would. And I've wanted to say a lot of this for a long, long, long time.
You finally did it, bro.
And
Congrats. Thank you for giving it.
that's how you get that out there.
So I just want to hop in here and show some text that Jake sent me after this interview. This is July 29, 2021, a few days after he got out of solitary. How are you feeling after a few days? Better. I still couldn't sleep, even a few days out, but I almost have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on better help. My therapist is a little concerned, but we are working on things. Reminder, this is not supposed to be a traumatic life event. This is supposed to be a MrBeast video. Hey
Yeah.
Jake, hope you're doing okay. Meg and I just wanted to check in on you. Hey, I'm good and I appreciate that. I'm not exactly 100%. I feel like mentally I'm still recovering a bit, but back in therapy and my therapist is concerned. Haha, but my legs and joints feel better. Like I can walk, but my feet are still covered on those blisters and those hurt to walk on. But I was told the best thing to do is stay off my feet and let them heal. I'm in Raleigh with my family. Also, it'll be like a month before I get the money, and they aren't giving me all the money. They're giving me what I won up to that point in the game, which was also a slap in the face, but hey, I'm out, I'm alive. therapist who knows and cares about you. The whole thing was so fucked, and honestly, fuck them for not giving you the money. Meg and I are wishing you the best with your recovery, and please feel free to reach out if you need anyone to talk to or need a place to crash in New York. Hope you're doing well, man. That video you uploaded is money. So good. I appreciate. I'm doing better physically. Mentally, I'm still kind of in a place.
I think that's
still
supposed to be 2022.
I've slept 5 hours in the past 3 days, marathon included. I don't know what's wrong with me. Lots of thinking, too much, one might say. Hope they're taking care of you where they can. I mean, I was kind of shocked they didn't pay me for the full 25, 30 days. They paid me what I made up to that point. Like, even when we have to pull the plug for my mental health, the mechanism of the game is still at play. I'm just happy to be out. I still can't walk well, but it hurts less. And like, I'm not famous enough to burn a bridge. So at the end of the day, I'm still Jimmy's bitch. Like, if I was Carl and he did that to me, I'd ruin him. And they want to do it again. That could be your leverage. If the guy breaks down also, 2 is better than 1. Yeah, right. I told them everything they did to me that they can't do again in order to make sure the other person doesn't break down as fast. But like, the way the video is meant to function is the problem. It's a bad idea, full stop. It sounds clickbaity, sounds right up Jimmy's alley, but it's morally unethical, like on every level. Off-camera breaks, lights off at night, visitation, take the marathon out. Marathon is a video in itself. You can't expect someone to exert themselves like that for 45 seconds of content. The challenges really made it feel dehumanizing. Felt like a parody of MrBeast. I felt like the homeless guy they could exploit. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. Part of me wants the footage burned, and part of me thinks that there's a great horror cut in there. LMAO, he was so fake when he came in and said he cared about my mental health. They must have programmed the care about mental health updates. He said, we also don't want you to, and I swear to our Lord and Savior, he stopped himself from saying sue. Also, as far as like, he could have said no, he could have left at any time. I want to show this segment from an internal document at MrBeast called How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called No does not mean no. Already insane, because it's sort of, it seems to be co-opting the popular
Never take no at face value. That's insane.
Which is a terrible look given the allegations that are going to be coming out very soon. It reads, when dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value.
That's
if we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if they are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team. If all avenues are exhausted and you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees, because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically, what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of many tools that when combined dramatically improve your probability of success when producing here. So yeah, this idea of like pushing through no's is a big component to working at MrBeast. And the way that it manifests itself a lot of the time is like a director might tell a producer, hey, we need access to 30 acres of farmland by Tuesday or we lose $500,000. Now, if you're the producer, you obviously know that means get it done or you lose your job. So what can happen is like a producer's calling up farmers saying, hey, I need to use your land. And the farmer might be like, okay, but you know, I have animals, you can't be making really loud noises, no pyrotechnics, and you gotta clean everything up. So the producer's sort of incentivized to lie and say, or maybe the producer doesn't even actually know the total contents of the video, right? Things changed last second. So they're very like, they're financially incentivized to be manipulative and sort of, they're put in positions where it's like, oh, it's either the producer's job or a civilian's job, like where it talks about, hey, maybe the manager would be willing to bend the rules. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules that could get them fired, you know? I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I had seen this Reddit post titled MrBeast leaving trash behind and debris at film site in Aden, North Carolina. Apparently he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with MrBeast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a MrBeast video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It, where at the end of that video he actually says,
and if you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
Yeah, so he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually on site for part of this production. I was
On
at this
site?
camp. So I decided to send an email out to the camp, basically saying, hey, I heard these rumors. I'm investigating similar incidents. And the camp responded, actually not denying the claims, going on to say, I am sure that there are no perfect film productions, just as there are no perfect people. I am grateful for the opportunity that we had to host the production crew, and because grace, or forgiveness, has been offered to me so freely, I will choose to offer the same. So clearly alluding to the fact that there was a wrongdoing by MrBeast production team. And that's like sort of the thing is, if you're around Greenville, you know these stories of people working with MrBeast and it being extremely unprofessional, them not doing what they say, but they sort of get by a lot on their good public image. And like, I mean, this camp offered to host them completely for free. And I guarantee, like, if you went to the lake at the camp and you went magnet fishing, like, you'd find all sorts of debris that's still there to this day. Like, they didn't clean it all up. So in the case of Jake Weddle, like, I'm sure that there were producers who were in a position of, hey, if Jake gets out early, we don't have a video, and your job is at risk. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on top of, like, him being delirious from not sleeping and everything to just manipulate him into staying.
That whole
Which,
story
you know, I'm
with
sure
Jake
this isn't, like,
is
technically against the Geneva
very
Convention on
depressing. I
torture
feel so
because
bad
he
for the
wasn't
dude.
technically a prisoner. Like, he could have left at any time, but because of the extreme pressure to stay in, it's not really a reasonable expectation that he could have just, you know, walked out.
Because of the implication.
I think Jimmy is a awkward kid who maybe had it a little rough growing up. I can't speak on that, but I do have empathy for it because I had it rough growing up. And I think when you're hyper fixated on something, like I love stand up, he loves YouTube, everyone fixates on a thing. You know, I think he just wanted to be the best YouTuber so bad, and because the industry's metrics,
And everyone does.
you know, rewarded some not great behavior. If you're just going on autopilot based on what the numbers say, you know, you can do some things that maybe aren't good, but reap reward. And I think Jimmy just did what the industry and maybe what the system that we have set up demanded. And he didn't care who got hurt.
Hello, Camille
And
Vidal. Thanks for being here.
Jimmy surrounded himself with really, really not so great people, and those people were the ones making the decisions. And I
Let me know in
wanna
the
say,
chat. Is the
really
audio
important,
okay?
there are so many good people that work at MrBeast who are damn good at their jobs. Like, when Jimmy comes in and asks for something impossible, it's these people's jobs to do it. And they shouldn't be able to make it happen, and they do. And so, I don't think people wanted to talk about stuff because I didn't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't care about my fucking job. I'll die in a hole. I don't care. But I don't want my friends to lose their jobs. You know? I don't want anyone's reputation to be fucked. You know? But let's just go back to my dad for a second, if I may. My dad was like a swim coach, your neighborhood swim team. Everybody loved it. Behind closed doors, he's a real piece of shit. And so, when stuff starts hitting the fan, what? Him? No. Surely. And then, you know, everyone, you know, thought my mom was the bitch, you know, for not, you know. But then the news broke, you know, that he did what he did to one of the students of the team. And it's like when that comes out, you're not surprised, you know? You just go, well, when I saw my dad in the news, I said, oh, you idiots. Like, I was like, no, I was, oh, dumbass, god damn it. But I wasn't surprised. And it was just consequences happened to somebody who was really good at avoiding them for a long time. And I don't know, everybody loves Jimmy. And behind closed doors, he is not super great. And that image is cultivated purposefully and intentionally. And it's branding, it's marketing, it's YouTube.
Okay, so I guess, yeah, just one final question.
Sure.
On a serious note, obviously the
Ava Chris Tyson drama.
Uh-oh.
And, you know, that's a known issue of traditional media. Did you witness or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
It's crazy. I probably hung out with Ava the most out of the main cast, just because I was on Beast Hacks. Now Beast Reacts. I don't know if it's still out. That was a lot of fun because it was just, you know, being silly and goofy in front of the camera. And Ava was the only person who was willing to film. Everybody else was too busy or didn't want to, and I was just trying to do my job. Sometimes there'd be like an offhanded joke that's a little gross. I mean, I'm a stand-up, so I'm very desensitized to that. I didn't hear anything that was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like when I saw, the reason I messaged you instead of talking to reporters sweetly like I have been was when I saw the Discord stuff. Because when I got there, it was like 2019, so I guess if the timelines add up, that would have been like handled, for lack of a better term, and then they started bringing more people on. You know, maybe they thought they had that under the rug. You know, all right, we handled that. Now let's bring in some writers. You know, and when I saw it, all that stuff started coming out, and the potentiality, as of this moment of recording. You know, I know this has been happening fast and stuff has been coming out so fast. Just the potential that Jimmy could have been in those Discord chats. Or even the potential that he participated in those Discord chats. After the shit he did to me, if you're gonna make fun of my dad,
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I don't care what happens to me and my career and reputation after this. I had to say some stuff. So whatever happens, happens at this point.
Outside of it, Chris Tyson, did you notice any or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
I've heard rumors. I can't confirm or deny anything. I don't have any tangible evidence, but I've heard stuff that if it could be investigated, that'd be great. But it's like water cooler talk. But I've heard things, yes, of course. I heard, you know, people have been let go for sexually assaulting some very young people.
Wow.
The idea that Jimmy didn't know, or that Jimmy was
That's off.
covering stuff up. He
It's
didn't want stuff
definitely
to
off,
come
man.
out.
Come
You know,
on.
he's very careful about his image. You know, the tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. You know, how do you prove that, you know? Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender, on the registry and everything, who worked there.
Jefferson, is his name?
And like you can, you know, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you know, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on that's one thing. You know, you go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, like if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people.
Picking
I
age
knew
1
that.
to 11-year-olds.
He's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started.
Wow.
And you know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face could be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to, is it more on the nose? Or I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth. You know, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, you know? The fuck?
that Jimmy knew about it?
The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
Okay, so finally I have a recorded phone conversation. The person on the other end of this line is a different former MrBeast employee talking about Delaware.
Delaware the guy.
Before this phone conversation got recorded, the person on the other end of the line said that the MrBeast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry, and that's what actually like sparked this person to start recording.
Jimmy.
Okay, so Reed is MrBeast's former manager who's in the last video telling Jimmy, you know, hey,
Oh, that
don't
guy.
promote gambling to children. So, you know, I think Reed's taken 2 W's this month. You know, don't promote gambling to children and don't have offenders on payroll.
Yeah, Reed,
Well,
take
just
both
from
of them,
where
man.
I'm sitting, it seems extremely unlikely that Jimmy wouldn't know, but, you know, I know I'm sure that's the defense he'll go with, so I'll just say preemptively, like, you know, if somehow Jimmy didn't know about Delaware, I think it's still such an extreme level of negligence. Like, what, you're not doing background checks. You're not. Everyone at your company knows, but somehow you don't know.
Yeah, that's
I
very
think that
sus.
needs more of an explanation than just saying, "I didn't know." Well, how didn't you know? How did this person get into the company and you know, a company that makes content for children and is around children? So yeah, Jimmy, I think we need an explanation from you, or you know, your lawyers and PR people and representatives and spokespersons and. On how you could have not known that there was an offender at a high level in your company. And while you're responding to that, why not just respond to the allegations of rigging contest videos and selling fake signatures, running illegal lotteries, you know, the dangerous conditions on the set of Beast games, you should address those too. So yeah, just let us know.
Okay, that was my interview with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle. I know he will be coming out with a longer cut of this interview as well as other content. So I just wanted to shout him out. Jake Weddle, top link in the description.
I've waited a long time to talk about a lot of this publicly, so thank you for doing what you're doing.
I think that's it. Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have been here for almost an hour now, and let's just say things have definitely gotten even more interesting. And you hear that, Chunky? I'm gonna keep. You see, the thing is with the Chunky, I called him Chunky in the last video because I didn't know his name was actually Chucky, but now I'm calling him Chunky because, you know, he doesn't deserve to be called by his real name, Chucky, because of that horrible apology he did on behalf of Jimmy, which I believe I did cover in one of my videos. But yeah, this was a blast to do the stream of, and yeah, when it comes to Jake Weddle, let me know if you guys like want to if you guys want to see the extended, let me look it up real quick on my phone. Jake Weddle. Yeah, he has something. So I most likely will react to that as well. But for now, this was an absolute blast to do. I got suited up for the first time since graduation, and yeah. And by the way, you guys saw that graduation video that I did. I said I was gonna not mess around and I was gonna take YouTube extremely seriously this summer. It paid off big time, and a large part of that is thanks to you guys watching the videos, watching the YouTube shorts, watching the live streams. You guys are the pure reason why I'm able, why I have the motivation to do this almost every day. And hopefully one day we get to reach that ultimate dream of monetization. And at that point, you might as well just set a reminder on your phone for uploading, because at that point, there's no stopping me at that point. I mean, there's no stopping me now, so what makes you think that I will stop at that point? But anyway, enough rambling from me. This was a great watch. I'm happy I got to watch this live, and if there is a part 3, I'll definitely watch that as well, and we will get suited up once again. So that being said, thank you for watching, and I'm out. Peace.